So this is a video that I'm making for one of my best friends from college. Her name is Alex King, and this is for her nonprofit. It's called Fly. First, love yourself. And today I told her I'd be talking about my self-love journey, which I don't think that I've necessarily arrived at the destination of self-love yet, but I've definitely made some improvements over the years. So I'd just like to talk to you about what self-love means to me now and how my life used to be so starkly different than it is now. And just how much more I'm enjoying the life that I now lead. So, self-love to me means finding your voice, which is essentially finding not only what you want to say, or how you want to say it, but it's having the courage to believe in your opinions, and to be authentic in your thoughts. I think a lot of people have opinions that go unnamed for so long because they're afraid that they're simply not good enough or that their opinions aren't important. Which I believe that when you love yourself, you can speak from your mind and from your heart a lot more freely than ever before. And secondly, I believe that self-love means positive self-talk, which in terms, dumbing it down, means, the devil on your shoulder and your angel on your other shoulder, and listening to the angel a little bit more than you listen to the devil. So like self affirmations and mantras and all those inspirational quotes that you read that most people think are bullshit. Well, it really comes down to taking those things and embodying them and really, really starting to act on them. I believe that human potential is boundless, that we're capable of so much more than we've ever imagined, but you really need to embrace the possibility that you can be successful. Fear of success is a real thing, especially in our society today that has trained us that you live, you pay taxes, you breed, you die. There's so much more to that, and you can do whatever it is that you wish to do. And the third final thing, the thing that I think is hardest for me personally is really owning your body and your appearance. I think that's a really big part of self-love that women have a hard time coping with. And in particular, not that men don't, but society's trained us to think that certain things are more attractive or desirable or beautiful than others. And over the years, I've started to love myself a lot more. I think that's really a product of walking around naked as much as possible and just daring to not wear makeup in public. No makeup, no hair stuff, no bra. And just saying, like, being vulnerable to people. If you don't think that this is pretty, too bad. It is what it is. And to not make value judgments on appearance alone for yourself or for other people. Which leads me to who I used to be, or the person that I am today versus who, I wouldn't say used to be, but who I was at one point in my life, because you're always still you. I think that most people would describe who I was in high school or middle school as unkind, and arrogant, and ungrateful, and materialistic. And I would say that that's not accurate. I was coming off that way because I was deep down unhappy and insecure and just so busy trying to conceal all my flaws and trying to look perfect and be perfect and numb myself with any substance or any person that I could at the time, hoping that I wouldn't have to face the reality that people aren't perfect, and that I wasn't perfect. Which I think that comes with maturity and age, and you start to grow up, and you start to realize that your parents can only give so much, your friends can only give so much, and people make mistakes, and you have to learn to forgive them. But before you can forgive anyone, or love anyone, or be grateful for anything in this world, you have to feel all those things about yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You have to be grateful for every day that you have air in your lungs, food in your stomach, water. And you really have to accept that life's not perfect. Shit's gonna come. Yeah, it's gonna come. And so are the great days too. And none of it is ever what you expected. You don't have a crystal ball. You can't tell the future. And it's always in flux. It's ever changing. That's okay. There's beauty in it. If you can find 3 things a day, at least I try 3 things a day, to be grateful for, then you lead a life worth living. You realize there's so much more. And from a person who used to hate every day more and more increasingly, and hate herself, and just be as depressed and as self-destructive as someone could be, you start to realize that it gets boring and it's dangerous, and I felt so alone and isolated, and I never thought that I could have relationships with people like I do now. So, to talk about the things that have changed that have really, really improved once you start to love yourself just a little bit more. Our relationships, that's probably the first thing I'm most grateful for. I could never have this deep vulnerability or sharing kind of mentality with my lover or my parents or my brother, my friends that I ever thought imagined. If I didn't really start to accept myself and forgive myself, I could never forgive them. And if I didn't start saying everything that I felt, because I felt that it was important, and speaking the truth and not being afraid of being judged for all the normal human emotions, or for looking not perfect, because as humans we're born imperfect or designed or evolved or whatever you may think. You can't hate any of those things. And some days are better than others. Some days you're really just not happy. That's okay. That is part of being a human being. And I think self-love, it's more fixed, because you realize that even on your worst days, when you're not happy, that it's part of life and it's part of a journey. And you need to learn to live with that. And that it's okay to just cry and show people who you really are and your emotions and everything that is you. To really stand comfortable in what you look like, or who you love, or what you do for a living. All of those things I've kind of gained out of my self-love journey. And if it wasn't for me spending so much time alone, traveling and abroad, I wouldn't have started any self-improvement, probably, because once you're in the deafening silence in a country where people don't speak your language and people don't understand your culture, and no one there knows your school or your friends or anything like that, you start to realize that you have to live with yourself for the rest of your life. So you should probably start to like yourself, at least. Yeah, and as I've grown, I think that I've only gotten better. as far as self-love, and I hope that this video inspires someone somewhere to remember that we're all beautiful human beings and that no one's perfect and the journey's not perfect and it never will be, and that's okay too. We're all humans and we're all alive, and we should all be as grateful as we can for every breath that we get to take and every moment that we get to share, because there are people out there who are taking their self-hate and their self-love and they're projecting it onto others, just like I did. And those people, they'll tear you down. And you have to work every day, to make sure that you believe in yourself and you don't let society and other people tell you what you think or feel or what you believe. So to wrap this up, I hope that people learn something, and if you ever feel so inclined, you can reach out to me or Alex, and I hope that people start to love themselves more and more every day.